Welcome everyone. Today's class is going to be a hatha class that's great for helping you deal, cope with and manage stress. We'll begin by just establishing the breath with your hands on your lap, your legs, your knees, whatever's comfortable for you. Sitting up straight, closing the eyes and taking 3 cleansing breaths in through the nose and sighing it out slowly through the mouth. 2 more times. And last one, really feel your belly expand as well as the chest. And then breathing in and out through the nose unless the nose is blocked. Drawing your attention inwards, letting go of any expectations you might have, and simply being present. Noticing how you feel mentally, physically, emotionally. And breathing into any areas of tension you might have. Consciously relaxing those areas. Softening the space between the eyes. Relaxing the muscles down your back. Deep, slow, even breaths. And then softly opening the eyes, making your way onto your back. And the full body stretch, interlocking your hands together, reaching your hands over your head, taking the left leg over the right. Nice banana stretch, reaching the hands over to the right side. Feel the side body stretch. Relax the shoulders down towards the mat. Deep breaths, in and out through the nose. And slowly moving over to the other side as you change your legs, right leg over the left, reaching over to the left side. Pulling the hands away from you. And releasing the hands, grabbing your blocks if you have, otherwise you can use books, and it's alright if you don't have any. If you do have, placing one in between your thighs, one in between the hands, and just reaching the hands over your head, squeezing the hands towards the block, squeezing the thighs in towards each other, and breathe. It's important to let the breath flow as you engage. If you don't have the blocks, just squeezing the legs together, squeezing the hands together over your head. And then gently moving the blocks to the sides. Placing your right hand, so flexing the hand up towards the ceiling, and then bringing the fingers towards your shoulder. The elbow is pointing up towards the ceiling. Take your left hand and just softly placing it over the elbow for a scapular stretch. So you're just gently moving the elbow behind you, and the hand on the elbow is just so that you can guide it straight forwards and back. And forwards and back, so being sure not to let the elbow move out to the sides, just gently forwards and back, noticing your scapulars in this movement. And just gently stretching, moving with the breath, inhaling and exhaling. Slow and controlled. Pausing wherever you feel you need to. You might feel the base of your wrist lift as you bring the elbow back. And changing sides, left hand down, fingers towards the shoulders, elbow up. Placing your hand on your elbow and just guiding it away from you, straight back. And guiding it forwards. Connect to the breath. And for some of you, you might feel quite an intense stretch. For others, you might not. It might be more gentle. It really just depends where you hold your tension within the body and your lifestyle. And release the hands, back of the fingers resting to your sides, and lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling. And breathe. No force. If there's too much or any sharp pains, then just back off a little bit. You want to just feel this gentle stretch. Breathe. You can really feel it in the deltoids. You might feel it more on one side than the other. And really just breathe into that tense space. Holding for 3 more deep breaths. And relaxing your arms down to your sides, pressing the palms down, using your abs to press the lower back down into the mat. Flexing the toes, keep the left leg engaged, straightening the right leg shoulders down, lifting that right leg up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to draw nice big circles. As you draw the circles with the leg, try to keep your left hip down. If this is too challenging, you can bend your knee, otherwise try to keep the legs straight. Both legs engaged, lower back pressing down, opening the hips, slow and controlled rather than fast. Keep pressing the back down. And just 2 more times. Moving with the breath. And then changing the direction. Nice, big, slow, controlled. Don't lose awareness in your left leg. Keep the hip down. Keep the lower back pressing down. And just 2 more times. And lowering the leg down with control. Moving over to the other side, engaging the left leg. Feel it quite engaged, using your abs to press the lower back down. And nice big circles one way with that left leg. Nice and wide as you can. Opening the hips, keep the right hip down. Breathe. Notice the back is going to want to arch. Try to keep pressing it down. This is also great for the core, your abdomen. Breathe. And just 2 more times. Making sure you have enough space so you don't kick anything over. And changing the direction. Breathe. And 2 more times. And relaxing the leg down. Keeping the legs down, lifting the head up. Toes slightly flexed, legs slightly engaged. Reaching your hands forward, palms facing each other. Shoulders away from the ears. And breathe. Softening the face, relaxing the jaw, make sure you're not frowning. Knowing you can rest at any time during the class. Always moving at your own pace. Interlocking the fingers together, keep the shoulders lifting up. Place the hands behind your head, elbows out to the sides, space between the chin and the chest. Breathe. You already feel your abs working. And just one more deep breath. And then lifting your arms straight up towards the ceiling, wrists over your shoulders, lifting the legs straight up towards the ceiling, and then just slowly lower them down to about 60 degrees. Breathe, pressing the lower back down into the mat. Shoulders still up, looking towards the toes to keep the space between the chin and the chest. Don't hold the breath. And bending the knees, interlocking your hands behind your head, relax the shoulders back. In a supine cat-cow. So you want to, as you exhale, bring the elbows towards each other, rounding the spine, chin to chest. And as you inhale, elbows out to the side, arching the back. Feel the hips pushing down to lift your stomach up, lifting the chest. Exhale, elbows towards each other. Draw the belly in. Feel the shoulder blades move away from each other. Inhale, open the elbows out, open the chest, arch the back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And just one more time. Exhale. And inhale. Taking a nice cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then holding the back of your thighs, rocking and rolling. So you want to rock up and down at least 5 times. Tucking the chin so you don't hit your head. And then rocking all the way out to seated, crossing the legs, lengthening the spine, and a nice easy twist, reaching the right hand over towards your left knee or thigh. Left hand behind you, looking over the shoulder, gently squeezing that hand into the leg to deepen the twist. Breathe. And slowly moving over to the other side. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And release. Making your way into a child's pose with your legs. So knees out to the side, toes together. So legs are wide. Placing your left hand down just a little bit in front of you. Right hand behind the head, lifting the elbow up towards the ceiling and looking up. Soften the eyes. Breathe. Really twisting with the upper body rather than the lower body. Drawing the belly in and up softly. And changing sides. And twisting up, lift the elbow up, lengthening the neck, squeezing out tension in between the shoulder blades. And release. Coming up onto your hands and knees in a tabletop pose. Placing your left forearm down, wrist in line with your elbow, left arm reaching up. So very similar pose. You want your knees to stay underneath your hips. Your feet aren't together anymore. Your feet are hip width apart. Lifting that right arm up. Breathe, try to stack the shoulders over each other. Looking up towards the ceiling, not collapsing into your neck and your shoulder. Breathe. And slowly changing sides, stack that right elbow underneath the shoulder, wrist in line with the elbow, pressing the palm of the hand down. Press your knuckles down to distribute the weight evenly. So all the weight's not just on your elbow. Press the fingertips down, press the knuckles down, pushing away from the mat. Breathe. And lowering the hand down, walking the hands up, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, cat-cow. As you inhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, lift the chin, drop the belly. As you exhale, untuck the toes, draw the belly in, chin to chest, round the shoulders. Inhale, tuck the toes, looking up, keep the arms straight. Exhale, untuck the toes, tops of the feet pressing down, rounding the spine. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Finding that neutral spine, knees out to the side, toes together, stretch the arms forward for a child's pose, stretch, resting the forehead down, crawling the fingers away from you. Take a cleansing breath. Curling the tailbone down towards the mat. Gentle stretch in the shoulders, the arms, the thighs, and the spine. And just one more deep breath. And lifting the chest, moving the feet away from each other, knees underneath your hips for a puppy pose. Stretch the arms forwards. You can either rest the forehead down, spread the shoulder blades, or for a deeper stretch, you can lower the chest and the chin down. You really want to try to keep your knees stacked over your hips stacked over your knees for this pose. So just keep checking in, breathe. Backing off onto your forehead if there is any pain. Deepen the breath. And slowly making your way up. Coming back to your tabletop pose. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downward dog. Working those heels down, you can even pedal it out as you settle in, stretching the hamstrings, the back of the legs. Middle fingers facing forward, spreading the fingers, pressing the knuckles down. Spread the shoulder blades, feet hip width apart as you find stillness, moving the energy down into the heels. Draw the belly in and up. Turning your armpits so that they're facing your ankles. Breathe. Looking between the legs or the navel, engaging the quads, feel the kneecaps lifting up. 3 more deep breaths. And then slowly coming back to child's pose, knees nice and wide, stretching it back as your hips move forward. And we move from child's pose to down dog flow. So from child's pose, tucking the toes, Lifting the hips, looking between the legs. Coming back down to child's pose, untuck the toes, sink the hips back. And again, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, straightening the legs, bending the knees, lower the knees down, child's pose, stretch. And just 2 more times, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, bending the knees, stretching it out. Last one, tuck the toes, lift the hips, breathe. And instead of going down, I want you to bend the knees, lift the heels, look between the hands, hold, breathe for 3, 2, 1. And you can either walk to the front or you can float or hop to the front. Straightening out the legs. Bend the knees if you need to, hands on either side of the feet. Relaxing the neck. If you feel like you can straighten the legs, then go for it. Engaging the thighs, feel the quads engage, kneecaps lifting up, hips lifting up. Relaxing the neck, moving the shoulders away from the ears. And then placing your left hand down, reaching your right arm up. So my left knee bends, the right leg stays straight, wrist stays under your shoulder, looking up towards the ceiling if you can. If you lose your balance, look straight forwards, or you can even look down at the ground. But your right leg is straight as possible. For you, it might be slightly bent, and the left knee is bent. Breathe, checking on the wrist, stacking the shoulders over each other. And then changing sides, right hand down, wrist under your shoulder, reaching the left arm up, bending the right knee, straightening the left leg. So your left hip's going to be lifting up. And breathe. And lowering the hands down, releasing the arms, just letting them hang loose. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, rolling the spine all the way up. Relaxing the shoulders back, palms to your chest, feet hip width apart. Namaskara B. Inhale, reaching the arms up, bend the knees for a chair pose. Breathe. If you can, looking up towards the ceiling, otherwise you can keep looking forwards. Exhale, palms together, forward fold all the way down, hands to either side of the feet, straightening out the legs if you can, looking between the legs, relax the neck. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Keep the back straight, moving the tailbone down, engaging your core. Exhale, hands down, stepping back to plank. Flowing through chaturanga, shifting your hips forwards, shoulders forward over the fingers, bending the elbows in at your sides as you lower the chest and hips down at the same time. Untucking the toes, inhale to cobra pose, inhale rolling the spine up, tops of the feet down, engaging the glutes, hands pressing down and dragging towards you. You're using your back muscles to lift yourself up. Exhale, lower the chest down, rolling it down like a wave. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips up to down dog, either on your knees first or all the way straight up. Working those heels down. Breathe, feet hip width apart. Hands shoulder width apart. Stepping the right foot forwards for a high lunge, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Try to check on the knees so the knees not moving too far past your toes. Leveling the hips, moving the tailbone down. Open the chest. Exhale, hands down, framing the front foot, stepping back to plank, which you can also do on your knees if you need to. Spread the shoulder blades, engage the abs, shifting forwards using the toes, chaturanga all the way down. Inhale to cobra, untucking the toes, rolling the spine up, engage the glutes, elbows make your sides. Exhale, lower the chest. Tap the toes, lifting the hips up, downward dog. Breathe. Stepping the left foot forwards for a high lunge on the other side. You want the foot to be close to your hands. You might start with it here. You can always take your hand and step it forwards. Inhale, arms up. Breathe. Checking on your alignment, palms shoulder width apart, leveling the hips. Try to straighten out the back leg as much as you can. Bending into the left knee on the exhale, hands down. Framing the foot, step back to plank. Spread the shoulder blades, engage the abs. You don't want your bum up or down, this puts too much pressure on the lower back. Shifting forwards, chaturanga all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips, elbows stay in at the sides. And then stretching it out, 5 deep breaths. Try not to rush through them. And then up onto your toes, bend the knees, look forwards, walk, or float to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, forehead towards the shins. Inhale, as you reach up, use your core to keep the back straight. Bend the knees back to your chair pose, so we exit the same way we came in. You can look up or you can look forwards and then palms together into your chest. Breathe. Taking a moment to notice how you feel. And then opening the eyes if they were closed, stepping the left foot forwards, reaching the arms up for a high lunge, palms facing each other, hands shoulder width apart, level the hips, straightening out the back leg as much as possible, bending into this right knee. And just slide the back foot further back if you feel like you can sink a little bit lower. And then opening out the arms to the side, to your right, in a revolved high lunge. Breathe, find that point to focus on that's not moving. And twisted warrior, lifting the front hand up, over the head, lift the chest, gazing up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Keep the chest open, sliding the right hand down the back leg. And then making your way to warrior 3. Arms shoulder width apart, reaching forwards, looking down towards the ground, and slowly start to straighten the standing leg, lifting the left leg up, leveling the hips, arms next to the ears, draw the ribs in, and breathe. And slowly making your way out of the pose, stepping the back foot next to the front. Take a cleansing breath. And then stepping your right foot back, high lunge on the other side, reaching the arms up, leveling the hips, straightening out the back leg, palms facing each other. Check to see the front knee isn't passing over your toes. Crawl the toes forwards if you need to, sinking a little bit deeper. And then opening out your arms to the left. Breathe, soften the shoulders. You might need to pull a little bit on your left hand. And twisted reverse warrior, reaching the front arm up over your head. Left hand sliding down the back of your leg. Lift the chest, gazing up. Keep bending that left knee. Straightening the back leg. And warrior 3. Both arms forwards, palms facing each other. Looking down, tippy toes of the back foot. Slowly lifting that back leg up as you straighten the left leg. Leveling out the hips, drop the right hip down, draw the ribs in. Breathe. Find that point to focus on, using the breath to stabilize you rather than holding it. And palms together, stepping forwards and down. Cleansing breath. And slowly bringing that breath back to its normal rhythm, deep and slow. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms up, bend the knees. Feet hip width apart, chair pose, palms facing each other. Shoulders back, thumbs moving back. And on the exhale, palms together, forward fold all the way down. Forehead towards the shins. Breathe. Interlocking your hands behind your back, palms pressing together. Bend the knees if you need to. Stretching the arms away from you, up and over the head. Draw the belly in, relax the neck, lifting the hips up. Squeeze the shoulder blades in. And release the hands down. Placing the hands down, stepping it back to a plank pose. Shoulders over wrists, heels over toes. Spread the shoulder blades, engage the core. Breathe. Spreading out the fingers, knuckles pressing down. And then stepping your right foot over the left. Or if you're facing your left foot over the right. Keep the hips lifted. Stacking the left shoulder over your wrist. Or right shoulder over your wrist, reaching the left arm up towards the ceiling. Breathe. And then if you feel like you can, on the exhale, bringing this top hand through the space. Inhale, sending it up. Exhale through the space. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale, and just 5 more. 5. 4. 3. 2. And last one. Placing the hands down, changing sides. And lifting the arm up, stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Breathe, lift the hips. And then threading through the space. Exhale, inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. For this pose, you can do it with the feet stacked on top of each other. It's just slightly more challenging to keep your stability, so it helps having one foot in front of the other. Exhale. Inhale, but just doing what you can. 2 more times. And placing the hand down, coming back to your plank, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, One knee's down, toes together, child's pose, stretch it out. Relax. And then making your way up onto your shins, turning to face me. And stepping your right foot out to the side. Heel down, toes up, gate pose. Sliding your right hand down the leg, left arm reaching up and over. Open the chest, lengthen the neck. Breathe. Just a slight bend in the elbow, not too exaggerated, not completely locked out. And slowly coming up. Changing sides, bringing the shin in. Stepping your left foot out to the side, toes up, sliding that left hand down the leg. Right arm reaching up, check that your back ankle is in line with your knee. Keep the right left toes pointing up. Slight engagement in the glutes as your hips feel like they're almost pushing forwards and the shoulders moving back. And coming up. Halasana pose, toes out to the sides, hips sinking down, knees open, hips open, palms to your chest. Opening out the hips. Breathe. Shoulders back. Fanning out the toes, evening out the weight on the toes. It's okay if your heels are lifting in this pose. It takes time to get that flexibility. Being patient with yourself. And you can even close the eyes in this pose, letting go of any distractions. Drawing the belly softly in and up as you lengthen the crown up towards the ceiling. Keep the triceps moving, the knees open. And releasing the knees, sitting down. Right knee forwards and bent, so your right knee's facing me. Left foot stepping over the leg. If you can, come onto the knife edge of the feet, start to stack the knees over each other, crawl the feet away from you. Lengthening the spine, moving your left hip down, so both glutes are on the mat. Breathe. Open the chest. If you feel like you can, lengthening your left arm up towards the ceiling, bending the elbow, reaching behind you with your right arm, maybe interlocking the fingers together if you can, or pulling on your shirt or using a belt, pressing the head back into the arm, draw the ribs in, move the tailbone down, breathe. And releasing the hands, changing the legs around so the top leg is on the bottom. So your left knee will be facing straight towards me, the knees in line with your hip, stepping that right foot over. It's fine if this is where you are in the pose. You'll still be feeling the stretch in all the right places, same benefits. Otherwise, try to stack the elbows over each other, leveling out the hips, lengthening the spine. Breathe. Holding here or reaching your right arm up, bending the elbow, left arm behind you, making those fingers way towards each other. Space between the chin and the chest. Don't force anything in this pose. Listen to the body. And release. Coming into a sage pose twist. So straightening both legs. Step the left foot over the right thigh. Keep the right toes flexed, and then just hugging this left knee towards your chest with your right arm, left arm reaching behind you. Looking over your shoulder, level the hips. Breathe. And then stepping that left foot back over. A little bit of space between the foot and your right thigh so that the knee can stay stacked over the ankle. And then you're going to take your left arm, reaching forward, so the shoulders on the inside of the knee. Try to bend the elbow before you hook the knee. So bending the elbow, hooking the knee, and the hands reaching behind you. Then you can take your right hand, using a belt if you need to, or holding, interlocking your fingers together. Breathe. Open the chest. And you can be looking in more of the direction of your right shoulder, or just in the direction that your chest is facing. Then turning to face the toes, keep holding, interlocking your hands together or holding a belt or shirt, whatever you can. And then as you exhale, forward fold. Make sure that this knee isn't out to the side, the foot's not against the thigh, there's a space here, at least 2 fists. Interlocking the fingers and forward fold. Breathe. And just going as far as you can. And release, straightening out the left leg. Bending the right knee, stepping it over the thigh. Keep your left toes pointing up and hugging your right knee into your chest with your left arm. Right arm reaching behind you, the spinal twist as you look over your shoulder. Behind you. Breathe. Shoulders away from the ears. And then going in for the bind if you'd like to give it a try on the other side. So space between the foot and the thigh, knees stacking over the ankle. Right arm on the inside of the knee, reaching forward to the shoulders, more or less in line with the knee. Turn the palm up, bend the elbow so you can hook your leg, reaching back behind you with your left hand. And then lengthen the spine up, looking back over your left shoulder. Breathe. Try to keep the back as straight as you can in this pose. Left quad is engaged. And then turning to face the toes. Forward fold on the exhale. Moving the crown towards the toes. Keep the right knee moving close towards you, using your arms to squeeze it in. And release. Turning to face me. And bend your left knee, straighten the right leg. Toes pointing up. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, side fold. So placing your right forearm down on the inside of the leg. It's okay if only your hand can reach the ground. Reaching the left arm up and over, moving the hand towards the toes, but don't close the chest just so you can touch the toes. Keep the chest open, shoulder moving back, breathe. Keep your toes pointing up. And slowly coming up as we change sides, bending your right knee, straightening out the left leg, lowering your left arm down, right arm over the head, moving the hand towards the toes, keep the chest open. Really try not to collapse your neck down like this. Keep it strong. And slowly coming up, turning onto your side, straightening the legs, fingers facing the toes, wrists under your shoulders, pressing down, spread the fingertips, push your knuckles down, lifting the hips, moving the toes towards the ground. Keep looking forwards. If you can get the toes down to touch, then lift the chest, lengthen the neck back rather than, please don't collapse the neck back. Lengthen the neck back, breathe. Engaging the glutes, lifting the hips. Strong arms. And slowly lowering down. Bending the knees, holding the back of the thighs, tuck the chin and just gently rock all the way down. Bridge pose, knees on top of your ankles, palms pressing down, lifting the hips up, tucking the shoulders, lifting the chest, lifting the chin, feel the back of the head gently pressing against the mat. Check that your knees aren't out to the sides, toes forward, knees forward, in line with your hips. Breathe. Holding for 5 more breaths if you can. Soften the face. And slowly lower the back down, one vertebra at a time. Crossing the right leg over the left as if you were sitting cross-legged. Bending the knees and just letting the knees fall towards the right. You can shift onto your right side so it's more comfortable. If you feel like you can, even hook that right foot around underneath the ankle. Otherwise you can just have the legs crossed, arms to your side, looking in the opposite direction, so looking to the left if your knees are falling to the right. Holding for 3 more deep breaths. And slowly rolling onto your back, releasing the legs, changing the legs around so the left leg is over the right. If you can, hooking the toes underneath the ankle, eagle legs, and shifting onto your left side, let the knees fall to the left, looking to the right, relax into the pose. Soften the shoulders down. And releasing the legs, rolling onto your back, bending the knees and letting them fall to the right. So your knees are as high up as possible. Try to get flexing your palms towards the ceiling, lifting the shoulders up. Imagine your knees are coming in towards the armpit and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Changing sides, moving the knees over to the other side. Keep the shoulders lifting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax, hugging the knees into your chest. Drawing circles with the knees to massage the back. Changing the direction. And then finding stillness, lifting the forehead towards the knees, hugging it in. Taking a deep breath in on the exhale, making yourself comfortable for Shavasana. If there's any pain in your lower back, you can keep the knees bent. Otherwise, you can straighten out the legs, let the feet just fall naturally to the sides, palms facing up. And closing the eyes, deepening the breath. And just noticing the breath, noticing how you feel. Just being a silent witness. Notice if you're still holding on to any tension within the body and the mind. Simply let it go. It's the trying that stops you. Notice the chest and the stomach rise and fall as you breathe. Can you feel the pulse in your fingertips? Or the beat in your chest? And allow yourself to enjoy this moment of stillness. And being proud of yourself for carving this time out. We tend to treat our wellness as a side dish, but it's really the only dish. And you can stay here for as long as you like, or you can bring your breath back to its normal rhythm, deep and slow. Bringing movement to the fingers and the toes. Placing your hands on your stomach, and take one more cleansing breath before opening the eyes. Hugging the knees into your chest. And slowly making your way to seated. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in this practice. Namaste.